Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from New York City. You're watching WCS America Challenger League, the second to last group, the second to last day of WCS America Season 1. We just saw Jim take a comfortable victory over Drunken Boy 2-0 to advance to the winner's match, and now we're going to have Jaedong versus Ian. Nick, who you got, man?
I mean, it's a Tyrant. You can't bet against a Tyrant. Yes, he didn't win DreamHack, but he made it pretty darn far. So, I mean, I think he's, you know, I don't know if I'd say he's a favorite for the group because Jim is just insanely talented, but he's definitely the favorite for this matchup. Of course, Ian's had some mixed results as far as his Challenger experience so far.
Yeah.
As far as qualifying for the Challenger division, he had like a loss to Zenicider, but then he beat Xenium. So he showed some weakness in ZerG vs Terran, but a lot of strength in his ZerG mirror. And then in Challenger bracket, he ended up losing to Major, another Terran. So maybe his Terran's not quite up to snuff, but beating Xenu and ZvZ shows he has some very good ZvZ skills, already beating an EG player.
You know, you say that, and like, honestly, I think it was a Reddit post. It was a Team Liquid post or something where it was showing Jaedong's history, ZvZ's, like his last 20 games. Did you see this image?
I did.
And Jaedong was like, it was ridiculous. It was like, last 20 games like 19-1 or something.
His strongest matchup for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So this should be. I'm going to be watching. I've been playing a lot of ZerG lately. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm going to be watching both these guys very, very closely because I need ZvZ is kind of giving me a headache recently as far as from a player perspective. But here we are in game number 1 of this best of 3. In the bottom right-hand location, I present to you your Taiwanese ZerG player in the red, representing Team Yo Ironman. He is Ian. His opponent in the top left-hand location, a legend of both Brood War and Starcraft 2. One of the best ZerG players to ever play. One of the best players, one of the best gamers to ever play in RTS. Representing Team Evil Geniuses and hailing from Korea, he is Jaedong. Recently got second at DreamHack, falling to
Stardust.
Stardust.
Of course, he beat Tasia in that run, 2-0.
Yes.
So Jaedong is
those were quick games, right?
And
there.
we saw Tasia qualify fairly easily. Yeah, for
I mean,
WCS America Premier League.
Yeah, that is what we saw.
I mean, yeah, Tasia had no. I mean, against Neeb, he struggled a bit, but in general, I mean, 4-0 in this group. So
not too big of an issue for him.
Both players go in hatch first here.
Okay. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's the two most standard builds are hatch first, or like a 15 pool 16 hatch, something like that. So it's or 15 pool 17 hatch is more like it. But either way, the macro focus getting expansion is definitely the mainstay of ZvZ, and the reason is because early spawning pools on the map or the Overlord can see the lack of a hatchery being built. As we can see right now by the 310 mark, the Overlords can see if they expand or not.
Right.
If you go early pool, you're going to be found out. Unless you can have a micro advantage against your opponent, which is very difficult when you're talking about, you know, two competitive players. They're both going to be, you know, very comfortable microing drones against Zergians. It's going to be hard to make up for not having that expansion. There
are some like crafty builds involving a faster gas where you get speed really fast, or you get really early banelings. What do you think about those against like a 15 hatch?
You know, I've seen players try them before. And in general, they just don't work.
Okay.
Every once in a while, you see them work. But I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Against Sulky from WCS Korea Premier League about 2 days ago.
Did Sulky go 15 hatch, and then Yu-Gi-Oh! Went for a...
Yes. It was either, you know, I think it was 15 hatch. It might have been 15 pool 17 hatch, actually.
Yeah,
but both those builds actually play out almost identically as far as against a one-base base. I mean, they don't actually, but they're fairly similar.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, Sulky just had no problems at all with that.
Well, we're not seeing any of that here. And now this is getting interesting because Baneling Nest should be coming down fairly soon, and then, of course, the Spine Crawler at the natural.
In fact, that's a pretty fast Baneling Nest.
Don't you want to do it with your first 50 gas or getting speed?
You know, so you do if you want to make sure you don't lose early.
Right. That's what I do.
Yeah. The thing is some players are getting more confident at reading their opponent. And unless your opponent's stockpiling Zerglings and going to do something where instant they get speed, they run at you with like 20, 30 Zerglings.
Right.
And you don't need it that early. And even if they do that tactic, if you get the queens on the ramp, you can off the hold anyway. So that just shows, actually, he's going to use it aggressively.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Because Ian is skipping the Baneling Nest here. He's going for an Evo Chamber, and He's got 152 gas tanks, so it's likely to be a quick +1 carapace, I would say.
But Jaedong is getting banings. He's getting a lot of speedings on the way. Jaedong is going to be very aggressive here, and that's going to be very difficult to defend without any banings of his own. So Ian's getting that spine crawler, which he has to do if he has any hope of defense. He's found the banings morphing there as well, and that's huge.
Oh, how did he find that? Wow, very impressive find there from Ian. And now Ian's going to be the one being aggressive. So Jaedong might have to play on the back foot, which is nothing but good here for Ian, considering he's the one who's skipping the baning nest.
Exactly. I mean, like right now, economically, they may be relatively even, but as time goes on, once that upgrade finishes, Ian's going to have the advantage as far as more cost-efficient zerglings.
And again, when you're not spending gas, obviously you're having a lot of drones on minerals compared to your opponent, and you're saving gas for other stuff, like a faster layer, again, faster upgrades in this case. So now it's a situation where I think Jaedong is going to be a little bit pressured to get some damage done here.
Oh, and he's going for it. A lot of speedings from Jaedong crossing the map, now morphing some banings, but Ian looks like he might be swinging around for a counterattack.
I don't know about this.
Jaedong very cleverly left 2 banings back to defend. Ian, what does he have to stop this? The spy is getting focused down. The drones are having to evacuate.
2 queens going to be parking themselves on the ramp. Great move there. Jaedong posturing those banelings near his opponent's zergling. So Ian making that decision to go across the map with his links. Now he's not going to have too much back home. And a great baneling hit there from Jaedong at the natural of Ian. Another good baneling hit. And I really like Jaedong's position here.
I mean, Ian's broken. This is just, he just didn't have the appropriate defense, and just speeding has such a hard time against a speeding baiting competition. But wait, actually, Jaedong, no more reinforcements coming in here. It's Ian's speedings who are coming back to defend. He does hold on for now.
More links come in here from Jaedong. Remember, Ian doesn't have banelings. His opponent does. 2 banelings going to be warped in or morphed in.
The big deal, though, is he lost both his queens, which means he doesn't have those larva injects.
2 banelings in the main of Ian. 2 Jaedong banelings in the main of Ian. We'll have to see. They're going to go for that middle line.
You know it'd be tricky if he ran his own speedings in the main and just covered the ramp with the banings. But he's going for the middle, like you said, taking off a few drones there. More drones going down at the natural, looks like. Weakening him up, then the speeding's going to finish him off. And this is a situation where Ian just can't build the same amount of units. He doesn't have the larva injects. He doesn't have the economy. Yes, he has the armor upgrade complete now, but is he too far behind in this game for the armor upgrade to really make a big difference?
Still no banelings, too. And Jaedong is just going to overwhelm with units. He has, again, as you said, he has the ability to make a ridiculous amount of links, a ridiculous amount of banelings. Great peel off there from Ian to take down those 2 other banelings, but Ian, it's a situation where you kind of have to make a bunch of units to not only try to do some counter aggression, but to just defend what Jaedong has. And it's also a situation where you need to replenish drones and queens. And you can't do all that with as low of an economy as he has.
You can't. I mean, Jaedong has no problem having a superior armory while he's going there, while he's getting the 3rd hatchery. Even with the upgrade differential, those 2 units from Jaedong pushing Ian back yet again.
Yeah.
Jaedong is being patient. He's going to wait to equalize the upgrades before he tries to go for the killing blow. You know, why rush it? He knows he's had an economy. He knows that right now, the only advantage is the upgrade from Ian. And once he gets his upgrade in, of course, the Zerg and Carapace upgrade that's about to complete here, you can see in the production tab.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, Ian will have no advantage left to him.
And not only that, +1 melee is about halfway done. And again, we already mentioned the layer, we already mentioned the 3rd hatchery. So Jaedong still making the steps to, not only while he's being aggressive, but to focus on the mid game, right? He has a plan.
I don't know if he needs his plan. He's coming in here with so many units.
Yeah, +1 carapace just now finishing on those lings, and Ian, I don't think he's going to have near enough. There's the GG, Jaedong taking a comfortable game 1. And a game kind of characterized by risks in taking advantage. I mean, Jaedong going for the baneling nest, his opponent not. When you're not going for a baneling nest in ZvZ, you can die to an opponent who's going for lings and banelings, because they have, they have the ability to do for the splash damage with the banelings. I liked how Ian tried to go for that counterattack to try to slow Jaedong down, but it wasn't enough. He wasn't able to buy enough time.
He wasn't, and the counterattack, the first one was really awesome.
Yeah.
But when he launched that second counterattack,
nothing back home.
There was 2 banings to defend, and the big thing is, yes, he had nothing back home, and the other way is sometimes if you don't have your own banings. But if you can make sure that you have good map vision overlords and you have more speedlings than your opponent, what you can do is you can, anytime they try to morph banings, you attack them. And you can force them to make the banings way back on their side of the map, and then you have a lot of time as they cross the map. But because he went for that second counterattack, Jaedong could morph banings right outside his natural. And then that attack him with the banings, and just not going to stop that.
Wow, great game. And that was actually pretty cool. Ian able to spot those 2 banelings in the bottom left corner of the map in the beginning there, which I thought was super impressive. But ultimately, it didn't matter too much. Jaedong taking the 1-0 advantage in this best of 3. Guys, stay tuned. Game 2 coming up.